Yo, what is up guys, Grim here, and in today's video we're going to do a short and sweet one. We're going to answer the question, is the final buff to Lake of Kalandra good enough to make them worth doing for everybody in high tier maps, and overall does it make it any better? Let's dive in. So what was the change first and foremost? So they have changed all silver and golden elemental notch tiles to no longer have gem rewards, which is a pretty substantial change. All those gem rewards are now currency rewards. Now if you don't know anything about what a gemmed or notched or anything like that kind of tile is, go watch my previous video. It explains how to set up all the lakes in the most optimal way to get the most rewards from them, and this video really does just build on that. So if you don't know how lakes work, go watch my previous Lake of Kalandra video. I'll leave a link to it down below. But let's dive in. Are the lakes good to run now? Well, I set out to find that out myself. So I've been saving up my lakes after realizing they weren't too powerful in the the weeks kind of moving up to this patch, and I had a total of 48 reasonably strong lakes with a number of gilded silver and golden tiles on them. Now, obviously, I set out to run those, and I wanted to kind of understand what the breakdown of rewards was after the change to the loot table. Okay, so in my 48 lakes, I got a total of 515 reward chests. That's 515 silver or golden notched tiles. Now, the breakdown of the actual types of loot that I got from those tiles was as follows. I got 243 currency chests, 62 unique, 116 divination, 51 scarab, and 43 map. Now the reason this is important is because the majority of these rewards are currency, and currency is definitely the best reward. It's guaranteed loot. You can get divine orbs, exalts and alls, bubblegum currency, wazoo, you're gonna get some good stuff. In addition to that though, the majority of the rest of the rewards are actually quite good as well, with the second most common one being a divination reward, coming in at like 22%. So 47% currency, 22% divination. Divination is going to give you stuff like stacked decks and also assorted other random divination cards, which is definitely not too bad. Now when it comes into the other ones, the rarer ones like Scarab is obviously very good. Unique is a complete hit or miss. You could get something like an Aegis, or you could get absolutely nothing. Most likely you're going to get absolutely nothing. In my case, I got nothing in this test. And then finally, maps. This actually does somewhat respect your atlas. It will give you your favorite T16 map a good amount of the time. And it will also give you Conqueror, Elder, and Guardian maps, which can also sell quite nicely as well. It's also worth noting I got 49 reflecting mists in my test of 48 lakes, so it's about 1 reflecting mist on average. Even factoring in the lakes where you get 2 at a time, that doesn't make up for the fact that you get none some of the time with some of the other lakes that you do. So it's pretty interesting that you're not guaranteed one. At least I didn't get a guaranteed one, every single lake. So that's kind of the distribution and the breakdown of the loot. So the gems being removed really jacked up the amount of currency you're going to be getting, and that does substantially increase the profits you can expect to make from farming Lakes of Kalandra. All right, let's dive into the actual profitability of it first. All right, so let's take a look. So what is going to be included in this discussion we're about to have? So I'm going to be including only the generic currencies that drop from the currency chests. So exalts, divines, fusings, all that kind of stuff like that, using the PoE Ninja pricing. We're pricing all the T16 favorite layouts that we got at 4.5C, I believe, which is for like Strand, which does sell for that right now. And we're also pricing all of the Conquerors and Elder Guardian maps, Scarabs, and stacked decks. That is all that's included. I removed all of the other stuff like divination cards, breach stones, catalysts, incubators, all that stuff is gone. We're only including the stuff which is super easy to sell, and also stuff which you would actually realistically try and move for some currency at this stage of the league. All right, so let's get into the comparison now, shall we? And whether or not these are actually worth it to run in the league at this stage of things. All right, so let's dive in. So in our previous test, we got around 66 chaos per Lake of Kalandra that we ran, which is okay. That works out to be about 6.C per map. When you run 10 of them on average, it takes about 10 maps to complete a Lake of Kalandra. Okay, not too bad there. Definitely nothing too spectacular though. Well, with the new revamped rewards, you're actually going to be getting close to 10C on average per map that you run, where you complete the tile set. And then obviously when you cash in and you run the big Lake of Kalandra at the end, you'll be getting 104C total. Okay, so that's kind of how it works out there. So it's almost double the rewards, a little bit shy of that, but it's a substantial increase to the amount of rewards you're going to get. And that namely comes from the increased amount of currency that you'll be getting, as well as T1 currency specifically. Now you can see here on my original test, I did get quite unlucky with divines, and that is included in the RNG there. and I got a bit luckier with divines here in this test. So I think that the change is probably a little bit less substantial than is represented here. But overall, you will get more tier 1 currencies, and if you did, kind of average it out, it would still be higher. So I got 29 tier 1 currencies in these 48, and I got 20 in this 50. So you can see, I got substantially more in my my higher test here with the 48 versus even the 50. So you get like 50% more currency, which does make quite a lot of sense, given the fact that you're getting a lot more currency chests. So yeah, pretty damn good. Now, of course, now the question that we know is we've got 104C per lake here on average. Is that really worth doing? Well, it's really going to depend on you as a player, whether or not you enjoy the mechanic and your character. So when you're actually running these lakes, they're still not a trivial matter. When you get to the end of these things, if you don't have a large amount of survivability or burst damage, you're still going to get absolutely dunked on. And it's not going to be a very fun experience overall, which is, what the game's all about, really. Doesn't matter how rewarding something is, if it's killing you 6 times, it's really not going to be very much fun. So let's put you in a scenario where you can run these lakes, your character's fully capable of doing them. Well, it's really going to come down to whether or not you consider 100 chaos per map a lot of currency. If you're running your average map and you're struggling to make like 10 chaos a map, Lake of Calandra is going to be fantastic for you if you can clear them, because that's going to be a super map. When you run your 10 maps and you click on the thing, you construct the lake, you're basically doubling the amount you're earning, because at the end you're going to get a 100C map to run with your Lake of Calandra. So you make like 10C per map, you run 10, that's 100C, and then you run the Lake of Calandra, that's another 100C. It's doubling your earnings. However, if you're someone who's running maps which are super duper juiced up, like these scarab hunters or anything like that, and you're getting 100C per map, well, in your 10 maps you're getting 1000C total of earnings, and then you run the lake at the end, that's only 10% more currency. You could actually just make more, most likely, by not doing the Lakes of Calandra at all and just putting another map in of your current strategy. And that even gets worse when you get more and more and more earnings. And that really is the weakness of Lake of Calandra as a mechanic. Because it doesn't build on the mapping kind of synergies and the dynamics, it really just does fall flat for a lot of players who are hyper optimizing their end game farming strategies. But again, that first player where you're only earning a small amount, Lake of Calandra is great. You should definitely pick it up and figure out how it works, and find out how to run it most optimally from my other video, and you'll be making quite a little bit of currency, and it's going to feel pretty good for you. All right, so this was the final update, most likely for Lake of Calandra. So it's not going to get any better from here. There's not really too much to optimize, but I will say that you can probably expect your profits to be a little bit higher than I'm representing here. Overall, I would say you're probably going to get closer to 15 to 150 from a lake. So 15C per map and then 150C per big lake on average, due to the fact that you can do some snazzy little things like 3-to-1ing the special ring bases, or 5-to-1ing or whatever it is, and selling the base which isn't mirrored. You can also do things like selling the reflections of Calandra tiles, which can be worth quite a lot of money when they're on a high tier lake. You can also sell the reflections of Paradise, which are the XP tiles, for quite a premium as well. But the overall consensus and the overall opinion that I have on Lakes of Calandra is that once you start getting any sort of a solid mapping strategy going, they kind of fall by the wayside, and they're only really a novelty and something that you can do for fun. And for currency, not too optimized, not too good, and they're not really going to be too worth it unless someone can figure out a way to sell them effectively outside of the actual Calandra and the Paradise tiles. They're probably not going to be worth constructing or really even running, unless you're kind of on that lower kind of investment and lower side of things, where you're earning less money per map, and then they're definitely worth running and looking into. So that's going to be the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this short one, and I'll see you guys next time. There'll be a link to the description for the video to the how to do it, and also the spreadsheet of the breakdown if anyone's interested. Until next time, guys, hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys in the next one. Cheers.